What's happening, guys? Welcome to Indie Invasion Podcast. We have another battle report for you. I'm super excited about this one. Eric and I have had our Burrows and Badgers models for a long time. We got them right at the beginning of the coronavirus. So we've had them for a while, got a lot of them painted, and I'm really excited to finally get it to the table. I would have much preferred to play against someone, but I downloaded the solo rules that Michael Lovejoy, the creator of the game Oathsworn Miniatures, wrote during COVID-19 because of the quarantine so that people could play. And I modified them slightly just to speed up gameplay a little bit so that I could get all the way through the battle report. When I play my solo games, I like them to go pretty quickly. That's makes it more enjoyable for me because the real joy in playing a game is talking to the person across the table from you. However, I had a lot of fun, so I was running a rogue, or I am running a rogue warband. I have a gambling den for my upgrade, which is an abandoned farmhouse. More on that as more stuff, Burrows and Badgers, comes out. And I had a lot of fun. The rules are real simple. They flow really fast. I'm a pretty big fan of the different dice types for different stats based on what kind of a character you're running. So, for instance, if you have a larger creature, you might have a D8 for their strike, whereas a little small mouse might have a D4 for their strike or whatever. So I'm a big fan of that. I was introduced to that, I think, the first time through Funky Skull Games, the game Street Wars, and really like that mechanic. So that's how the game works. And I'm not going through any of how, this isn't the how to play. This is just me putting the game on the table and having an absolute blast. I'm playing on a 2x2 table. The mission is, there are 5 objectives on the table. It is to obtain the most objectives and not die in the process. As is typical for me running a game, the possibility of me dying in the process is extremely high. But regardless of that, I intend on having a blast. Thanks for joining me, and let's head over to the table. All right, guys, so here we go. This is pre-turn 1. Got all my stuff set up for solo, for Burrows and Badgers. Got my little cheat sheet for when I roll a 1, as I inevitably will. Got my 10 fate points. Got a handful of villains to attack my crew. And I've got my handy-dandy crew right here. My warband, some dice, and I am already deployed. So I'm deployed on this side. And the enemy, the villains, that is, are deployed on this side of the table. So I'm outnumbered ever so slightly, but that's okay. And what we're going to do here is we've got a little ruined house here in the middle of the table right there. And we've got 5 loot objectives scattered around the board. And the objective is going to be to search through those loot objectives, capture as many of them as we can, and to club the opposing forces into submission in the process. So this is my first ever game of Burrows and Badgers, and I'm playing it solo, but I'm excited to get it started, so let's roll into turn 1. All right, guys, let's start turn 1. So I have the initiative for this first turn. I'm going to start with Mad Hat Grace here. She is my shrew, and she's going to move up to here. Bam, and get to that first loot marker. Now, I'm a little bit new here, so we'll see what I need to do to search that loot marker, because I don't actually know. Let's see. Awareness. All right, so we'll do an awareness. And the awareness of the shrews is a D6. All right. And here we go for the shrews. So that's a 4. We're going to call that a successful search because we were looking for a target number of 4. So we're going to put that on my side for a successful loot counter for a search. So then what we're going to do is, so that I don't have to walk around the table, we're going to spin this bad boy around and get ready for some action on this side from the bad guys. All right, we are going to start with our aggressive hunter, I think. And the reason I'm going to start with the aggressive hunter is because it just makes sense. Now, I'm playing a little bit different than the actual rules are stating, just for simplicity. I wasn't really a fan of the flow chart, but that's just me. So, you know, it is what it is. So, this is a large villain, aggressive hunter, right here. It's going to have a movement of 9, so that's 6. And then I'm going to move right over here. Then he is going to attempt successfully, I'm sure, a little shot here. All right, all the way to Mad Hat Grace there, and that is 11 inches, so no problem. So this is going to be my first actual roll here. So for him, for his ranged attack, because of the solo rules with the cards, he's got a base number of 7. So I am going to attempt to get out of the way of this one with a nimbleness roll. And the nimbleness of the shrew is, this isn't Mad Hat Grace, but still a D6. So it's going to be an opposed roll. Ooh, I don't think she can do anything about this except get hit with that base of 7. So here we go. All right, so that's a 2. And then the total there is 7. So if I understand this correctly, that's going to be 5 wounds. May be wrong, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then that little grade square right there is going to mean that she's going to be -1 to all of her rolls. But she got some loot, so that's good. We'll go with that. All right, so that's that. So we'll switch back around to the other side here to what I shall dub as the good guys. Even though we're not technically the good guys, we're the rogues. So I don't actually have any ranged stuff. I'm not sure why. When I was building it, I was basically building it off of the models that I liked. So that's what I did. What I am going to do is I'm going to take my leader, Ristendale. He's right here. And he's an otter. I'm going to knock a model down, apparently. He's going to move up 6 and 7, 8. Actually, this way, though. So he's going to try and get up there to cause some havoc. Let's put this guy back up there. Actually, we're going to declare that as a sprint because I want to get over here. Not my full second movement there for the sprint, but I want to try to get into position so I can maybe jump on that hare in turn 2. So let's flip around to the other side of the table again. And this time, let's see. This time, what do we want to do? I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do my rabbit aggressive fighter, who is right here, and she is going to sprint as well. So realizing the movement on these guys kind of changes my little widget. I should be able to get a lot farther. So she can easy make it all the way up to that building. Easy peasy. All right. So Rabbit Heroine is activated. Let's see. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go with Haddon Swagger. He's going to come here, make an awareness roll with a 5. Okay, that's good. That's what we're looking for. So that's 2 loot counters for me. haven't decided in this scenario if they can drop those. I probably will have them because that's just more fun if they can potentially drop them. So that's both of his. That was quick and easy. Flip back around to this side, and I got a couple more archers over here. So I think I'm gonna capitalize on that, and I'm gonna go with my hunter, my weasel. Ooh, decisions though. He's got the option to, look, he's stealth, you can't even see him. He's got the option to get to that. So I think I'm gonna have him grab that loot marker. And so for him, his awareness is a 5. So flat out 5, he's gonna get that, because the cool thing that I really like about solo rules in this is that instead of having a die for any of them, you just have the flat number, and that's your base number. So I kind of like that because that makes it easy and makes it move quickly, which is part of the reason I'm not using the flow chart right now, because I feel like that would significantly slow me down. And when I play solo, I really like the game to move quickly, as quickly as it can. All right, so I have 2 weasels here. 2 weasels, and I've got Bug-Eyed Fairfax and Durwood the Buster. So I'm going to move Durwood the Buster because he's cool. And he is a fast little fella, and he is going to sprint all the way up to this building. We're going to try and make sure that we can secure this, because I think we're essentially going to split. There he is, right up there. Is essentially split what the loot counters are, since there's 5 on the board. So let's switch back over here. I still have another archer who can potentially dish out some good damage here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to capitalize on that. So I've got an otter archer, and he's got a movement of 9. I think he's going to come right up there, get some cover. Boom. And that's going to give him basically a clear shot on Bug-Eyed Fairfax. And that's going to be easily within range. So the Otter Archer is going to have a ranged attack of 7 against my stoked Bug-Eyed Fairfax right here. With he's got a nimbleness of D8. Okay, so potentially get out of all of this. 3, but I can't. So he's going to take 4 damage. All right, so that's Bug-Eyed Fairfax. 1, 2, 3, 4. Darn it. It's going to get him wounded 2, or -1 to his rolls. But that's okay, because that next turn, I think we're going to club that otter pretty hard. All right, so that stinking archer messed me up. And that was Bug-Eyed Fairfax, so we're actually going to move him. He's going to come up over here. Not going to sprint, just going to do a single move. Don't have any ranged weapons, so just getting into position to offer a little support to me little shrew over there. All right. Back to the other side. All right, so this is going to be pretty quick because we don't have any more range over here. So we will start with our shrew. He's got to move a 7. I think he's going to go there. Actually, he's going to try to get all the way over there to Mad Hat Grace. So that's going to put him right about there. And as he runs around the corner, he looks and he goes, "Ah, there's a big giant otter over there with a sword. That's terrible." All right, back to the other side. And I actually only have one more guy to move. And I have Updike Finch, my otter pirate. And he is going to sprint as well, because I think we'll be okay. All right. So I'm I'm only going to move 8. I'm not going to sprint because I don't want to. I'm going to go to right there. Right there, close to that little shrew that I'm about to pummel with my otter. Yay. Headline news: Otter pummels shrew into ground. Now the tough part here is figuring out, I think this guy, he's going to want to move up to support right there. And then I don't have anybody else on the other side. So we'll move the platypus over here. And he's going to be 7. I don't think I want to sprint him, though. I'm going to put him right there. All right, so that is everyone moved. There's really nothing to clean up. I may be spending an action to take a healing potion, because I did buy a couple healing potions. And fortunately, Bug-Eyed Fairfax has one. So with that, that is going to be the end of round 1, rolling into round 2. All right, here we go into round 2. I'm going to resolve initiative with a simple D8 roll. So this is my warband, and this is the villains. Oh, look at there, a tie. Oh, of course. All right. This is not exactly how I wanted it to go. So, I believe the best thing that we could do, the smart thing, would be to move this hare right there and take a shot at old Otter Boy. Oh. All right, so Hare Archer is range 7. And that is Updike Finch, and he is going to be Nimbleness D8. So long as I don't roll like I normally do, I might be able to do something. Ooh, a 5. All right, so he's going to take 2. 1, 2. And that was good. That actually worked out pretty well for me, because I am going to, not even going to spin the table all the way around, I am going to activate Updike Finch. And Updike is going to, boom, he's going to move up there to engage in close combat. Boom, and there's close combat. Okay, so the way that's going to work is Updike has a, hang on a second. Hang on. Learning. All right, so he has a strike, so his S of a D8 versus the nimbleness of the Hare Merc, which is 5. So if I get lucky, I could take him out. No, I can't. Wouldn't do enough damage. All right, so boom, and oh, I got an 8. That's fantastic. So the way that's going to work in the solo rules, because I do like that for the way that they take a wound, is it's that would have caused a wound but is not more than their fortitude stat. Place a counter on their profile to represent a wound. So that's going to be the Hare Merc. So that's essentially going to make his fortitude a 4 next time someone comes at him. So that's good. All right, so I think my warband's about to get their butt handed to him anyway, though. Let's see what happens. All right, so obviously I'm going to attack back right here with the Hare Merc. And the Hare Merc is strike of 8 against a nimbleness of 8. See what happens. Ooh, a 6. Very nice. Very nice. So that's going to be 2. And actually did 1 more damage because he's strong 1, which I messed up. However, it still wasn't enough to override his fortitude. So I think in order to keep things salty, we're going to go with Mad Hat Grace here. And she has throwing knives. And throwing knives don't have a super good range, but I do believe that I am in range. I am. So she's going to throw at the shrew. She has a strike of D6. And he has a nimble of 6. Ooh. But I'm +1 with the roll-off. So here we go. D6 +1. That's a 3. Nimbleness easily beats, so no problems there. However, I am going to go ahead and move up like that. All right, so now the question is, I think the best thing would be for this fighter to step in on him, on Updike. And he's going to have a strike of 6 against a D8 of Updike. D8 -1, though, because I do have a wound. So that's 3, so that's going to be 2. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ow. My otter's getting slapped around. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I believe what I want to do is I'm going to stay on this side of the board, and I'm going to take my leader. He's going to come around here. And he's going to jump on that lovely person right there, on that rabbit heroine. And that rabbit heroine is going to have a nimble of 6, which is really good, I think, being new to the game anyway. All right, and Riston is going to be, so if I'm understanding this correctly, and you guys that are watching, if I'm not, you can correct me. After I get my roll, if I'm successful in hitting, I'll add 3 because of the double-handed weapon and 1 more because he's strong to the total damage in the end, if I'm correct on that one. His strike is D8. He has no pluses to hit, unfortunately, so I need to get at least a 7. Yikes. Come on, baby. That's the opposite of a 7. Okay. Not good. On the plus side, we're about finished over here. So I'm going to go ahead and attack back with the rabbit. The rabbit's strike is a 6 on my guy's nimble of an 8. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so he hits me. However, I have tough 2 because of my armor. He's only going to do 1 damage because he has a strike of 6. But I have a tough 2, so that's going to reduce that by 2. So I take nothing. I think Riston's going to be the one who kind of saves the day for my crew here. And that was the rabbit heroine. I got to be careful over here because I have 2 bowmen closing in on my people. So I'm going to have to be careful over here. And I think what I'm going to do, that's probably dangerous, but let's do it anyway. He is going to come around and attempt to engage the Otter Ranger. All right, so the Otter is going to be nimble of 5, and that's Durwood. Durwood, the Buster, is going to be a strike of D8. Okay, so that's, I've got a little better chance of hitting with that nimble of 5. That's going to give me a little bit more of a chance here. Oh, that is fantastic. Okay, so that's an 8, so it's going to be 3 damage. Plus, he has a 2-handed weapon, which is strong 3. So that's going to be 6 damage with a... Oh, man. Wow, he's pretty tough. He's pretty tough. He's got a fortitude of 7. So that is not enough to take him out. So he's just going to take a wound. Man, I thought I had a chance on that one, but no siree. All right, so he's going to strike back. And his strike is going to be at an 8 against a nimble of a D8. Oh, that was fantastic. Old Durwood's only going to take 1 damage. Good old Durwood. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I rolled a 1 earlier. I forgot to do Twist of Fate, so I'll have to remember that the next time around. All right, so Durwood came out okay there. I don't think he's going to be able to make it this turn, so he's going to come up here in preparation for helping out. And then I think the wise thing, if I were playing this side, I would come in with Mr. Platypus Man and attack Durwood. And Mr. Platypus Man is going to be a strike 6 on Durwood's D8. Oh, there's the 1. There's the 1. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Durwood's going to be -1. And I rolled a 1, so let's go to the twist of fate. Roll a d12, and we got a 3. The next time an aggressive fighter takes an action, they get to make a second attack or a second action immediately after. Ooh. Ooh, okay. So fortunately, I don't have another aggressive fighter to activate. I do have an aggressive or a cautious hunter to activate. So what I'm going to do there is, actually it's not their turn. I got to do Haddon Swagger here. And Haddon, as a shrew, is going to have a D6 movement. I don't think it's really going to matter over here. He's going to come up and try and support right up there under the tree. And feel free to comment away about everything that I'm doing wrong. You don't have to comment on my tactics. I already know those suck because tactics are not my strong point. I like playing. Winning, not so much. That doesn't really happen. All right, so we are going to bring this fine fella. He's going to flank out a little bit. And then he is going to take a shot at Haddon. That is going to be a ranged 7. And Haddon is my second against a nimble of 6. That is a 1. That's another 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, everybody's getting messed up today. All right, so that's a second 1, so we'll roll a d12 again, and we get a 1. All villains have a block stat of 8, regardless of wounds for the rest of the turn. Well, it's a good thing that that turn is over, because I did not need anyone to have anything like that. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so that is going to be the end of turn 2. The way it stands right now is I have 2 loot. The bad guys have 1. They're in an easy position to move this hare back to here and grab this one, which will split it 2-2. And then we have that final one right there that will kind of be the determining factor. So on that note, let's roll into turn 3. All right, guys, there we are. Rolled into turn 3. Things are looking grim. It seems to be how my battle reports are going, is things seem to be looking grim for my side. So let's roll right into it and see who's going to have the initiative. Again, I'm just going to make a roll off for simplicity. 6 and 2. Look, surprise! I lost. And actually what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to move the hare archer back. And he's got an awareness of 5, so he's automatically going to end up with that loot marker. That's going to straight go to him. Because ultimately we're looking at winning by objectives. So that's 2 for them, 2 for me. Let's move to me. All right, so my hare merc is injured. My hare merc is going to be looking at a 6 for his fortitude, which I might be able to take him out. I think it might be better to try to go after that shrew, although he does have the same one. So I'm going to... Oh, and Updike has a... Oh, it's a grim day. Updike is at -2 to his rolls. Goodness gracious. All right, so his strike is a D8. And his strike is going to be a 3. That is not good, because the block of this guy is a 5, so he is unsuccessful. I do believe he's going to take a pounding, a serious pounding. I'm not sure if they can attack a second time. I'm unclear on that. I'm going to look real quick. And... all right, well, in the quick look, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refrain from that and go with just a single attack. And we'll play that across both of us so that it won't make any difference. So now I'm afraid the hare merc with a strike of 8 is going to pummel me as well. I'm sorry, he's going to have a 7 because he is wounded. So a 7 on a D8 for me. Oh, another 1. Goodness gracious. And that is all block stats of 8 for every one bad guy. Oh, dear. And that was a strike from the Merc of 7 with my 1. So that is not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's not looking good. Looks like Updike's going to be buying the farm here. I'm beginning to think what I need to do is objectives. So I'm sorry, Updike. I love you. You're a great paint job. However, we're going to have Mad Hat sprint over here to right there. And hopefully in turn 4, nab that objective. So the next thing we're going to do is I think Shrew here is going to do its best to try and take out Updike. So Updike is going to be a D8. Oh, he did pretty good. He got a 6, but he's going to be minus 1, 2, 3. So that's down to a 3 against a strike of 6, which is going to give him... Darn it. Down goes Updike. I really like him too. He's painted so well. I was proud of that paint job. Well, the Shrew was proud of it as well, so he decided he would show me what it should, so he'd give you a good view of it by laying him down. All right, so next, I think what I need to do is I need to see if my leader can get something done here. So he is fighting against the Rabbit. The Rabbit has a block of 3 normally. However, we have Twist of Fate, so now the doggone hare has a block of 8. Which means there's nothing I can do because my strike is only a D8 with no bonuses, and I got a 4. So I just kind of slap at the Rabbit Heroine, unfortunately. And the Rabbit Heroine will return the favor with a strike of 6 against a Nimble of D8. That's going to be a 5. That would be 1 damage. However, I have a tough value of 2. Not teaching how to play the game because I have no idea how, but that essentially reduces the number of final wounds by that value. If I'm understanding that correctly, and I believe that part I am at least understanding correctly. Maybe not anything else. All right, so that was the Bunny Rabbit. Let's see what we can do over here. Unfortunately, everyone now has a block of 8, and I don't think that there is anything that I can do. There isn't, because all of my strikes are D8. Or lower. So there is nothing I can do there except try and hold. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to activate Haddon Swagger, and he's going to move up just to support so that I can try and achieve the objective. In that vein, Platypus is going to strike at a 6 against Durwood, who's going to be a block of D6. And I believe I did that wrong. Earlier in the turn, I was using the Nimble on that, and that's incorrect. It's supposed to be the block. My bad. Doesn't seem to be helping me anyway, so let's see what happens. We've got a strike value of 6 coming from the Platypus and a die roll of 1. Alrighty then. Alrighty, yeah, I made a mistake on that. I was using the Nimble and not the block, so that was on me. All right, and that's on Durwood. He rolled a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Durwood, my friend, you are not looking well. All right, so that was on Durwood. I got nothing. There's nothing I can do. Even if I come around and support, I'm going to keep him back there. All right, so this guy's going to move here to try and get an angle on Bug-Eyed Fairfax. And then the Otter Archer, who's wounded, is going to attack with a strike of 7 on Durwood, who has a D6 block. Oh my goodness, I rolled another 1. That one's going to net me. Villains have a nimbleness stat of 8 regardless of wounds for the rest of the turn. Well, that is just not any fun at all. But that's going to put him at 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, 5. And down goes Durwood the Buster. Sorry, Durwood. Down you go, my friend. Well played, sir. Well played. All right. So that is everyone except for Bug-Eyed Fairfax. So let me go ahead and take Durwood off. So Bug-Eyed Fairfax is going to come around right here to try and offer a little bit of assistance, but more importantly, to try and keep these guys from getting to the final objective, which is right there, which I have Mad Hat Grace in position to potentially grab. We shall see what happens as we roll into most likely the final turn, turn 4. All right, guys, turn 4, here we go. And again, I'm just going to roll a simple initiative to keep the game going because I like to, because it makes it more fun. Yay, I won. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to climb here, and this is a nimble roll, I believe. Let me check the climb real quick. Probably should have done that before I turned the camera back on, but hey. All right, climbing. All right, so I have a vertical movement for Mad Hat, so a nimbleness of D6, that's plenty. So to get up here, and then we have an awareness stat of D6. Let's see what we get and see if we can swipe this objective. We cannot swipe the objective. Oh man, this could be grim indeed. Grim indeed, my friend. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. That was Mad Hat Grace. So we are going to, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come over here, and we're going to see if the hair can see. Oh my goodness, the hair can see Mad Hat. All right. Well within range. Not a problem at all. Sorry about the shaky cam, guys. I'm getting the hang of it. All right, so the hair is the one that's going to go ahead and activate. It's going to take a shot up against terrain. So this is going to be -1, which the ranged for the hair archer is 7. So that's going to reduce that to a 6. And Mad Hat is a, this is where I use nimble, is a D6. So I'm not even, all I can do is defer a little bit of this. So I'm going to take 3, but that's -1 to a 2. Oh, which is going to be 5. Good Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I am getting hammered. But that's okay. I don't mind. This is a super fun game. I'm really looking forward to playing this against an opponent instead of solo. All right, so I think the hair's just going to stay right there because that will net her another shot at Mad Hat if she tries to do anything else. And unfortunately, I am very limited on my options here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my leader, Riston Dale, who still isn't hurt, but at least everybody doesn't have a block of 8 now. So I'm going to attack the rabbit, who's only got a block of 3, and my strike of D8. Let's see what we can do here. All right, that's a 4. That's good enough. That's going to do 1 point of damage. However, 1 point plus 3 more is 4 and 5. Unfortunately, a fortitude of 6, so that will not reduce, it will not take her out of action, unfortunately. I really wish it would have. All right, and she will retaliate with a strike of 5 now, and I have a block of a D6. That's a 3, so that's going to get 2 damage. However, again, I have heavy armor of tough 2. So Riston Dale is really quite, that armor makes a huge difference. I may need to revisit the layout of my crew. All right, so obviously it's time to go and gang up on Riston Dale because, yeah, that's what they got to do. It's the only way they're going to take him down, I think. So now we're going to go with the Hare Merc, who's got a strike of 7 right now against a block of D6. 3, 4, 5. So once again, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. So that's a 3 against a 7. That's going to be 4 points. Oh, no. So 2's actually going to get through on this one. 1, 2. But he's not taking any penalties yet, so that's a plus. So let's swoop around to this side and see what we can do. All right, everybody doesn't have the... Unfortunately, they took out Durwood, who had the big weapon that could potentially take him out. He had a 2-handed weapon. So, but Bug-Eyed Fairfax has 2 one-handed weapons, so that's helpful. So he's going to roll his D8 strike on... I think we're going to go for the Platypus, because he has a slightly... Oh, no, they're going to both have the same... I think we will try to take out the Otter Archer. I think that's who he's going to go after. So he's going to roll a D8 against a block of currently 4. And that is an 8. +1 because he has 2 weapons, but -1 because of his penalty here. So just an 8 against a block of 5. Unfortunately, that's not enough to completely take him down, so he'll pick up another wound marker. If I'm understanding that correctly, let me double check how they take the wounds. Yep. Okay, so he will take another one, and I have lost 2, so I'm not at 50% yet. If one more person drops, I am in trouble. Unfortunately, it is Mr. Platypus's time to schwack me back on Bug-Eyed Fairfax. So that is going to be a strike of 6 on a block of a D6. All right, Bug-Eyed is going to get a 4, so that's going to be 2 damage that gets through. 1, 2. All right, that's doable. Unfortunately, or fortunately, all right, I think my shrew is going to throw down on the Platypus, so Haddon Swagger with his big D6 strike on the 3 block. And I am unsuccessful as I tied with a 3. Okay. That's going to put the Otter Archer at a strike of 7, 6, because he has 2 wound counters, so it's going to reduce his strike by 2, of 6 on my block of a D6 -1. D6 -1. So that's a 2 versus a 6. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do believe he's going down again. I really thought I had this one by grabbing that center objective, but I did not. So the next question is, can the other guy see? Let's see. Oh, I think so. I think he's going to get a minus, but I think from that angle, I think if I could get a little closer, he'd be able to see him. So we're going to call that a potential shot from my weasel, or stoat, actually, but he's going to have a range of 7 because this fine fella here has not taken any damage and is going to do his best, his very best, to take out Mad Hat Grace. He'd have to do a lot of damage to take her out, though. She's got a nimble of D6, but it's going to be -2. So that's going to bring it down to a 2. So that's going to be 5 damage. Woo, that is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be a lot, but it's not enough to take her down. I've got one chance. If I can win the initiative and roll high going into turn 5, I'll win by loot alone. And here, whoo, this is getting rough around the edges. All right, so we'll be right back with turn 5. Okay, here we go. Turn 5. This is going to be the deciding factor. Mad Hat Grace is right there next to the final objective. The question is, in her wounded state, can she, number one, can we win the initiative? And number two, can she manage to find what she's looking for? We cannot win the initiative. Oh my goodness, this is going to be bad. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start on this side with the hare archer. Oh man, I realize that's not actually the hare, but it is for the purposes of this game. All right, so he is going to take a shot at a range 7 against a D6 Mad Hat Grace. That's actually going to be a 6, actually, because the cover. So we got a 4 minus 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got a nothing. And so 6 more damage. So Mad Hat Grace is going to go down. Mad Hat, you did it was a noble effort. It was a noble effort. And with that, I think I'm going to call that, because right now I have my leader engaged in combat who's about to be jumped on by a third person. And then over here, I have 3 guys ganging up on my weasel and my shrew. So I think it's safe to say that that we're going to lose this one. But that's okay. That was super fun. Let's go back up to the top side, and we'll talk about the after action report. Well, guys, as you saw, in typical Mac fashion, many ones were rolled and many of my people were taken out of action. However, I had an absolute blast. It's a super fun game, and we've talked about Burrows and Badgers several times on the YouTube channel and on the podcast, mostly because of the number one, the quality of the miniatures, and number two, the character of the miniatures. They're just so dang cool. They really are. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out Burrows and Badgers, I would encourage you to go over to Oathsworn Miniatures. Awesome, awesome stuff. Also check out their Facebook community. I will throw links down in the description for that. But ultimately, I had a blast. I lost. This is now my second battle report, and I've lost both of them. So I believe I may have a streak. We'll see what happens. But be on the lookout for some more stuff coming out. I have some Quar from Zombie Smith, Song of Our Ancestors. That there's multiple Quar games, and that's the one I'll be playing is Song of Our Ancestors. It's the skirmish version. You can also go check them out. I won't throw the description for them in this one, but it'll be in the battle report that I do for that game. So I'm sure I got a ton of rules wrong. I'm sure I did a ton of stuff wrong. And as typically, my tactics are not the greatest, but had a blast. And that is, for me, the objective of any game that I play is to have fun and to get my painted models on the table and to set up a cool terrain setup. So it was an actual blast. I'm really looking forward to starting a campaign. I have a possibility of someone who might be joining me. One of my local buddies here just ordered himself some miniatures. So I'm excited about that, and we'll get those on the table. And hopefully the next Burrows and Badgers battle report you see will actually be a campaign game of his guys against my guys. I will, however, be rebuilding my warband because armor is super, super good. So thanks for joining me for another battle report, guys. Had a blast. Looking forward to making a whole lot more of them. And until I see you next time, guys, prepare yourself for the invasion.